Hollywood woke up to heartbreak. News broke that Diane Keaton, the woman who redefined what it meant to be a leading lady, is gone. Within minutes, tributes flooded social media as fans, friends, and co-stars tried to process the unthinkable. For decades, she wasn't just an actress. She was a force of nature. From her offbeat charm to her signature suits and hats, Diane made imperfection feel iconic. But behind the glamour and effortless wit, few really knew the private woman who guarded her heart so fiercely. And now, as Hollywood mourns, everyone's asking the same question. Who is the real Diane Keaton behind the laughter and legacy? Diane Keaton wasn't just another Hollywood name. She was Hollywood's heartbeat for nearly 5 decades. From her Oscar-winning role in Annie Hall to unforgettable hits like Father of the Bride and The First Wives Club, she turned every character into something deeply human, flawed, funny, and real. Her nervous laugh, her quick wit, that offbeat sense of style, it wasn't an act. It was Diane being Diane. She didn't chase trends. She set them, inspiring generations of women to embrace authenticity over perfection. Whether she was stealing scenes in a turtleneck and bowler hat or standing toe-to-toe with the biggest names in film, she proved that true charisma doesn't fade with time. It evolves, and hers only grew stronger. When the news hit, it felt like the entire industry paused. One by one, Hollywood's biggest stars shared their grief and their memories. Bette Midler called her brilliant, beautiful, and completely original. A reminder that Diane never played by anyone's rules but her own. Steve Martin, her longtime father of the Bride co-star, chose humor, posting a playful exchange between them that perfectly captured their chemistry. Mary Steenburgen called her magic, while Rosie O'Donnell simply wrote, "What style, what grace, she will be missed." Even younger stars like Octavia Spencer and Kate Hudson reflected on how Diane showed women that being yourself could be your greatest power. Each tribute painted a piece of the same picture. A woman who left everyone she met better, lighter, and endlessly inspired. But behind all the love and laughter, there was one question fans couldn't shake. What was Diane really like when the camera stopped rolling? Behind the heartfelt words and elegant photos was something deeper. A glimpse into the real Diane Keaton that only her closest friends ever saw. On screen, she radiated confidence and charm. But off camera, she was famously private, preferring quiet dinners with friends to red carpets and spotlights. Bette Midler once said Diane had no guile, no competitiveness, a rare thing in Hollywood. Steve Martin described her as delightfully unpredictable. Someone who could make you laugh one minute and challenge your entire worldview the next. She wasn't interested in fame for fame's sake. She cared about art, people, and connection. Those who worked with her say she treated everyone, from directors to interns, with the same warmth. It wasn't an act. The laughter, the awkward charm, the endless curiosity, that was Diane. But even with all that love surrounding her, few truly understood the quiet battles she fought behind her timeless smile. Diane Keaton didn't just star in movies. She reshaped what it meant to be a movie star. Before Diane, leading ladies were polished, perfect, and predictable. She changed that overnight. Annie Hall wasn't just a film, it was a cultural shift. Her loose ties, men's blazers, and effortless humor became a movement, turning vulnerability into power and awkwardness into art. Every romantic comedy since has borrowed a little piece of her magic. The quick wit, the charm that feels unscripted, the honesty that hits deep. Beyond film, her influence stretched into fashion, photography, and even architecture. She showed the world that creativity has no limits, and that a woman can be stylish, strong, and delightfully strange all at once. To this day, every actress who dares to be different owes a little nod to Diane Keaton, the woman who made individuality the new standard. In the weeks leading up to her passing, Diane had quietly stepped away from the public eye. No big announcements, no farewell tours, just her signature mystery. Friends said she was spending more time at her California home, surrounded by family, old friends, and her beloved dogs. There were whispers that her health had been declining, but true to form, Diane kept those details private. She never wanted pity, only peace. Reports suggest she remained her witty, curious self until the very end. Still journaling, still sketching ideas for projects she'd never get to finish. Some say she was planning one last book, a reflection on aging, love, and legacy. Whether that's true or not, no one's certain, because Diane always believed some things should stay untold. And maybe that's the most Diane Keaton ending imaginable. Leaving the world on her own terms, with a smile, a secret, and a story we'll never fully know. The internet exploded within hours of the news. Hashtags like hashtag RIP Diane Keaton and hashtag ForeverAnyHall trended worldwide as millions of fans posted their favorite movie moments, quotes and photos. TikTok flooded with clips of her most iconic scenes. The nervous laughter in Annie Hall, the sass in the First Wives Club, the heartbreak in Something's Gotta Give. Younger generations, who discovered her through streaming, shared how her quirky confidence inspired them to embrace their true selves. Celebrities filled their feeds with tributes, from emotional essays to candid throwback shots, each one proving how deeply she touched the people around her. Even fashion houses paid homage, calling her the original rule breaker in a blazer. But amid the flood of love and nostalgia, one thing was clear: Diane Keaton wasn't just remembered, she was felt. And as the world scrolled through memories of her laughter and light, one thought lingered. Some stars never really fade, they just become part of who we are. Diane Keaton's passing marks the end of an era, but not the end of her presence. Her laughter, her fearless individuality, her refusal to blend in, they've all become part of Hollywood's DNA. She showed us that true beauty lives in authenticity, that age only adds layers to brilliance, and that being a little weird might just be the most wonderful thing of all. As tributes pour in and her films replay across screens worldwide, it's hard not to feel that she's still here, smiling behind those signature glasses, watching us fall in love with her all over again. Maybe that's the real legacy she left behind. Not just the roles or the awards, but the courage to live unapologetically. Because Diane never played by the script, she was the script. And in a world obsessed with perfection, she reminded us that imperfection is what makes a legend eternal.